Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we equip you with essential insights.
Great to be here.
Today, we're diving into something, well, something so many of us know well. That quest for good hair, right? Or just finding a style that feels good and maybe doesn't take hours.
The time, the money, trying everything.
Exactly. Sneak looks, braids, curls. You've probably been there, spent the hours, bought the products. It's a huge part of life for so many people.
It really is.
But have you ever really stopped to think about what's actually in those products? The ones promising all that shine and control.
That's the core question today, isn't it?
Yeah. Today, we're going deep. We want to uncover some, frankly, surprising and pretty crucial truths about what might be lurking in our hair care, especially products often aimed at communities of color. And importantly, the potential health impacts we might not even be aware of.
And for this deep dive, we've pulled together some really interesting sources. We're looking at personal stories from content creators online who've shared their journeys. We've also got detailed scientific testing from groups like Consumer Reports, the watchdog folks.
Right. The hard data.
Exactly. Plus, product reviews and even what's happening right now with new laws trying to make beauty products safer.
So our mission really is to help you get genuinely well informed. We want you to understand the ingredients, what's going on in the industry, and ultimately how you can make choices that feel right for your hair and, your health.
It's about empowerment through knowledge.
Precisely. So let's unpack this. We're going to kick things off with a pretty radical personal experiment we found.
Oh, yeah. This one was fascinating.
Right. So there's this creator online who decided to stop using all conventional hair products. And I mean everything, shampoos, conditioners, the deep treatments, moisturizers, gels, all of it, for 10 months straight.
10 months, that's a commitment.
It is. And what they found was, well, it was pretty revealing. They reported their hair felt healthier than it ever had.
Healthier, okay.
But maybe the most striking thing, they noticed dormant hair follicles starting to wake up, new hair growth happening.
Wow, so like actual regrowth.
Yeah. And this whole experience just completely flipped their assumptions. They basically came to this powerful conclusion. I have learned that I don't need them, meaning the conventional products.
That's huge, to realize you don't need what you thought was essential.
And you won't believe how simple their alternative was. After almost a year, they found washing their hair with just Rosol clay.
Okay, I know Rosol clay. It's a natural mineral clay.
Exactly. Mixed with some Ayurvedic herbs, those traditional Indian herbs used for wellness, that combo alone left their hair and scalp super clean, hydrated, moisturized.
And no conditioner.
No conventional conditioner needed.
That really says something about marketing, doesn't it?
It does.
The creator specifically mentioned how the industry's marketing, as they put it, has got us in a chokehold, making us believe we need this product and that product, when, for them at least, simple raw ingredients, shea butter, mango butter, avocado oil, olive oil, things straight from nature, were actually what made their hair thrive.
It makes you question everything you see on the shelves.
It really does. How much is need versus perceived need?
And they described this really interesting thing. They called it the continuous natural hair dryness cycle.
Okay, tell me about that.
So they explained how conventional shampoos, even the quote-unquote moisturizing ones, would just strip their hair.
Right, that squeaky clean feeling that's actually not great.
Exactly. So shampoo dries it out. Then you need heavy conditioners and moisturizers to compensate. But those often have synthetic ingredients.
Yeah, which then build up on the hair shaft.
Precisely. And that buildup makes it hard for real moisture, like water, to actually get in. So the hair stays dry underneath all that product, leading to brittle ends, breakage, needing constant trims. It's a whole cycle.
That makes so much sense. So the argument is the shampoo was only really needed because of the buildup from the other synthetic products.
That's what this creator concluded, yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of turns the whole routine on its head.
It does. And they also pointed out, didn't they, that the actual moisturizing ingredients in many conventional products are often the natural ones anyway, like the shea butter or olive oil listed somewhere down the ingredients list.
Right. Suggesting you could maybe just use the raw stuff directly.
Potentially, yeah. Simpler, maybe more effective for some.
And get this, they also found certain herbs seem to be healing for the scalp, like actually awakening damaged or dormant follicles.
Wow.
And regrowing hair in spots where they hadn't seen it for over 10 years.
That's incredible. A real testament to maybe letting the body do its thing without interference.
Absolutely. So that journey showed a lot about what we might not need, but it also brought up a much more serious point.
Right, the darker side.
Yeah. The realization that the products we do choose to use might actually be introducing toxins into our system
Mm.
through our scalp.
And this isn't just anecdotal. This is where the scientific data really comes in, backing up those concerns. Consumer Reports, The Guardian, they've published some pretty alarming stuff.
Like what?
Well, studies they highlighted showed that, get this, 80% of around 4,000 beauty products marketed specifically to Black women contained at least one ingredient considered moderately hazardous.
80%.
80%. And most had multiple hazardous ingredients. We're talking chemicals and hair straighteners linked to cancer, respiratory issues, toxic stuff in conditioners.
That's staggering. And it leads to this other area that Consumer Reports zeroed in on, which kind of blew my mind. Synthetic braiding hair.
Yes. Often seen as the safe option.
Exactly. People think, okay, it's a protective style, low maintenance, no chemicals, no heat.
Yeah.
But CR tested 10 popular synthetic braiding hair products. And the results were, well, they were not good.
No, they were deeply concerning.
Oh.
Let's break it down. First, carcinogens, cancer-causing chemicals, detected in all 10 samples they tested.
Every single one.
Every single one. Things like benzene, which is known to cause leukemia, found in 3 products. And methylene chloride, a probable carcinogen, was in all of them.
Methylene chloride in all of them.
And others too, chloroform, styrene, carbon tetrachloride, a
Yeah.
whole list of known or suspected carcinogens. It wasn't just a trace amount here or there. It was widespread.
Okay, that's what, wow. What else?
Second, lead, the heavy metal, detected in 9 out of the 10 products.
Lead in hair.
Yes. And alarmingly, all 9 of those exceeded the safe dose level set by California, which CR uses as a benchmark because it's one of the most protective standards out there.
And lead is, I mean, we know lead is bad, right?
Damn it.
Brain damage, nervous system.
Exactly. Brain and nervous system damage, especially in children. Plus, links to immune problems, reproductive issues, kidney damage, high blood pressure. It's seriously toxic.
Okay, carcinogens, lead, anything else?
Third, VOCs, volatile organic compounds.
Like paint fumes, that kind of thing.
Pretty much. Invisible gases released into the air. They found these in all the products too, and levels spiked when the hair was heated. You know, like when people dip braid ends in boiling water to seal them.
Oh, right. A common practice.
Very common. And these VOCs can irritate your eyes, nose, throat, cause nausea, mess with your central nervous system, and some are linked to cancer as well. Acetone, like nail polish remover, was found at the highest levels in many samples.
So you could be breathing this stuff in, absorbing it through your scalp. How else does it get in?
Well, there's ingestion, maybe tiny bits of brittle hair break off or, hand-to-mouth contact, especially concerning with kids.
Sure.
Then direct dermal absorption through the scalp. And yeah, inhalation of those VOCs, particularly during heating. Multiple routes of exposure.
And this isn't even getting into the immediate reactions some people have.
No, exactly. A lot of people report rashes, redness, swelling, intense itching, even a burning sensation on their scalp, neck, or face right after getting braids.
Is that the tightness or?
It can be tightness, sure, but it's often attributed to chemical coatings on the synthetic fibers themselves. Things like pesticides used in processing, plastics, acrylics, maybe alkaline residues.
So chemicals right against your skin.
Yeah.
Now, did the companies respond to this, the ones whose products were tested?
They did. Companies like Sensational and Magic Fingers, they questioned CR's testing methods and basically said their products are safe.
But did they say they test for these specific things, like lead or VOCs?
That's the key point. They didn't confirm if they routinely test for these specific contaminants before the products hit the shelves. So it leaves this big question mark about accountability and transparency.
Yeah, that lack of confirmation is worrying.
It really is. And beyond the braiding hair, this investigation also flagged this broader issue of EDC's endocrine disrupting chemicals.
Okay, what are those exactly?
They're basically chemicals that can interfere with your body's hormones. They can mimic them, block them, potentially messing with your immune system, metabolism, puberty, even reproduction.
And you said Black women have higher levels.
Research has consistently found higher concentrations of many EDCs in Black women compared to other groups, yeah. They might be present in various products, not just hair care.
Which brings us back to chemical treatments, like relaxers. Braids might have hidden risks, but relaxers. Those risks are becoming much clearer, aren't they?
Absolutely. There was a huge landmark study in 2022. It directly linked using chemical hair relaxers regularly defined as more than 4 times a year to a significantly higher risk of developing uterine cancer.
Uterine cancer.
Yeah. And also increased risk of fibroids. It's led to, I think, over 100 lawsuits filed already in the U.S. against manufacturers.
That's major.
It is. And what's really concerning is even as awareness about these risks is growing here in the U.S., relaxer use is actually increasing sharply in parts of Africa.
Oh, wow. So the risk is being exported in a way.
It seems like it. And meanwhile, here, an FDA proposal to ban formaldehyde, another known carcinogen found in some hair straightening products, that move seems to be stalled, stuck in, political transition or regulatory limbo.
So formaldehyde is still allowed in some products.
Currently, yes. Although the ban was proposed, it hasn't been finalized.
Okay, so if we put all these pieces together, the personal stories, the synthetic hair tests, the relaxer studies, what's the bigger picture here?
The bigger picture points towards a serious lack of oversight, especially in the U.S. The cosmetics industry faces surprisingly little government regulation.
How little?
Well, unlike drugs, the FDA doesn't require pre-market approval for most cosmetic products or ingredients. The responsibility for safety testing largely falls on the companies themselves.
So the burden is basically on us, the consumers, to trust them or figure it out ourselves.
Pretty much. And compare that to, say, the European Union. They've banned or restricted thousands of chemicals in cosmetics. The U.S. FDA, only a handful, maybe around 11.
A handful versus thousands. That's a huge difference.
It's a stark contrast. Plus, you've got issues like incomplete ingredient list. Companies can hide certain things under fragrance, for example. And those terms like clean, natural, organic, they often don't have legally defined standards in cosmetics.
So natural might not mean much legally.
It can be mostly marketing, yeah. It makes it incredibly difficult for you to make truly informed choices, even when you're trying really hard.
And layered on top of the regulation issues, there's the whole cultural side of it.
Oh, absolutely. The pressure is immense. Western beauty standards that prize straight, long hair, that creates what some researchers call textural discrimination, sometimes even within Black communities themselves.
Right.
So you have this potent mix. Weak regulation, really aggressive marketing, and deep-seated social and cultural pressures. It creates this Wild West environment, as you called it earlier.
Yeah, and it's even more complex than just the chemicals, isn't it? Some researchers are looking at the stress of racism itself.
That's a really critical point. Some studies suggest that the chronic stress associated with experiencing racism could be a contributing factor to health disparities, including certain cancers, independent of chemical exposures.
So even if we cleaned up all the products?
Exactly. Even if you removed every single concerning chemical, as one researcher put it, that doesn't solve the problem of anti-Black racism, which is a whole other layer impacting health.
That's a lot to take in. Heavy stuff. But is there any good news? Any signs of change or hope?
Yes, definitely. Despite all these challenges, there is momentum. For one, that Consumer Reports study, while alarming, also showed that better products are possible.
How so?
Some of the synthetic hair they tested did have lower levels of VOCs than others. And at least one brand tested negative for heavy metals like lead. So it proves manufacturers can make safer options if they choose to.
Okay, that's something. What about policy?
There's movement there, too. A big legislative effort called the Safer Beauty Bill package was introduced in Congress just last year, July 2025.
Safer Beauty Bill package. What would that do?
It's actually 4 proposed acts bundled together. One aims to ban 18 really hazardous chemicals, outright lead, mercury, formaldehyde, asbestos, certain phthalates, parabens.
On there, you direct ban.
Yes. Another part specifically addresses the disproportionate exposure in communities of color and for salon workers, and importantly, it would direct the FDA to actually oversee synthetic hair products.
Ah, finally bringing synthetic hair under regulation.
That's the goal. Then there's a part requiring disclosure of hazardous ingredients hidden in fragrance or flavor.
More transparency.
Right. And the last part focuses on increasing transparency throughout the whole supply chain, so we know more about where ingredients come from.
That sounds like a really comprehensive approach.
It's ambitious, and obviously it needs to pass, but it shows there's real legislative energy behind this now.
Are there other positive signs?
Yeah, a few things. We're seeing growth in cosmetic chemistry programs, like at Spelman College, training a new generation of scientists focused on safer formulations, particularly for diverse needs.
That's great. Building expertise.
Exactly. And there's some federal initiatives, too, like competitions run by Health and Human Services, trying to find innovative ways to reduce exposure to those endocrine-disrupting chemicals, specifically for Black women.
Okay, so there are definitely people working on solutions from different angles.
There are. Change is slow, but it's happening.
So for someone listening right now, feeling maybe a bit overwhelmed by all this,
Yeah.
what's the actionable advice? What can you do?
Okay, so based on the sources, here are a few key takeaways. First, keep an eye out for product recalls. The FDA's MedWatch site is a good place to check.
Good tip.
Second, definitely read labels, but do it with a critical eye. Remember that claims like non-toxic or natural aren't always strictly regulated, so dig deeper if you can.
Right? Do your own research.
Exactly. Third, if you do have a bad reaction to a product, itching, rash, anything, report it. Tell your doctor and also report it to the FDA's safety program. That data helps build the case for action.
Makes sense. What about the braiding hair specifically?
With synthetic braiding hair, the advice is generally to err on the side of caution. Maybe reduce how long you keep styles in or how frequently you get them. Definitely consider giving your scalp a good break between installations rather than immediately reinstalling.
Okay, moderation and breaks.
Yeah. And overall, the big message is to become what one source called an intentional user. Pause before you buy, read the ingredients, do a quick search online for the brand or specific chemicals if you're unsure, and really reflect on what good hair means to you personally, putting your health and well-being first.
Being intentional. I like that. It's about taking back some control.
Precisely.
Wow. Well, we've certainly taken a deep dive today. We've gone from personal experiments ditching products altogether to the alarming science on hidden chemicals in things like braiding hair and relaxers, and finally looking at the whole system, regulation, culture, and thankfully some signs of hope and change.
It's a really complex web, isn't it? Industry, health risks, cultural norms, regulation, it all interconnects.
It really does. And remember, this isn't just about vanity or beauty trends. This is fundamentally about making informed choices for your health, for your family's health, in a world that bombards you with messages and products.
It's about health literacy and consumer empowerment, really.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up, here's something to really chew on, a final thought for you to consider. Given everything we've discussed, the deep-rooted cultural pressures pushing certain beauty standards, and this profit-driven, often under-regulated beauty industry, how do we really, as individuals and as a society, start to redefine good hair? How do we shift that definition to genuinely prioritize health and well-being collectively, moving beyond just the specific ingredients we choose or avoid?
That's a big question, redefining beauty on our own terms, centered on health.
Stuff to think about.